Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development is the community's economic development organization. BSED's mission is to sustain and grow our region's vibrant economy and outstanding quality of life by providing leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, workforce development, and community development. Learn more and connect with BSED at bigskyeconomicdevelopment.org.
Welcome to our Vault Shorts. These are shorter episodes highlighting programs and resources in our Billings community. Joining us today is the Native American Development Corporation, or as we refer to it, NADC.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast
where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Welcome. We have Maddison and Tally with us today.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hello.
So 2 voices. Do you guys want to just give your name really quick and your title?
Who doesn't know Maddison? Who doesn't know Maddison's voice?
A lot of people. I'm Maddison Wilhite. I am the Marketing and Communications Director at NADC.
And I am Tally Monteau. I am the Triia Project Manager under NADC.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being here. We're excited to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's just a conversation. In a few minutes, you'll forget you're even wearing headphones and there's a microphone in front of you.
Ms. Communications and Marketing Director is nervous.
You know, it's always the people who are in PR. They're like, this is
because we're the
horrible.
ones that normally put other
behind
people
the scenes. Yeah.
doing it. I totally get it. Yeah. So let's just, share the story behind the creation of NADC.
Okay. So what we know, because neither of us were there, was NADC was established in 1996 by Leonard Smith, who is our current CEO. He took some time away and then returned back to NADC over its lifetime. But really, NADC, my understanding is that NADC was born out of a desire to improve economic development originally on and in reservation communities. And so it really started with a very small team. It actually was focused on manufacturing and building a manufacturing network.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And there is a little bit more to that piece of the story that I'll be honest, I don't quite know all of the details. But yeah, it was really focused on how can we improve economic development in these communities. And so as time passed and the organization evolved, it became a little bit more focused on the Billings community. And so I joined the NADC team in 2018. And so I can dig into a little bit more detail from 2018 until now. And my understanding is honestly that 2018 is the year that the organization truly pivoted to have more of that focus on the Billings community, the Billings urban Native American community specifically. And the reason they really made that pivot is because they entered the world of healthcare, which was a huge change from economic development, business development for the organization. And so we got a contract with Indian Health Service to open an urban Indian clinic here in Billings, which just kind of made all of our services pivot their focus to Billings and kind of beyond, I think is fair to say. And so now not only are we still doing economic development, but we are also doing healthcare. We say we're looking at the whole person wellness.
Yeah.
So if you
I like that.
Yeah. We've been working on an elevator pitch because there's so much to say about us.
Yeah. Do you want to test it out?
I'll test out whatever version I've got in my brain right now.
Yeah. Well, I think kind of backing up too, like prior to NADC getting the contract for the Urban Indian Health Clinic, there was a IHS, the Indian Health Services Clinic here in Billings.
Interesting.
But the BIA for whatever reason, closed that down. And there's a pretty significant population of Native Americans here in Billings. So, under the history, and I won't get into all that, but our ancestors died so that we can have these certain things according to our treaties, which was education and then healthcare. And when you live off reservation, you still need those services. And a lot of our people cannot afford those services. So I don't know what the particulars were. And so Bureau of Indian Affairs shut down the IHS Urban Indian Health Clinic here. And then NADC listened to this is just what I gathered from some of the clientele that come to NADC. So the NADC listened to our community. Healthcare was a great need. So then that's when NADC kind of pivoted into the healthcare.
Yeah. So kind of in that, a little bit more detail in that, NADC and a few other organizations in Billings bid on the contract that IHS put out to open a new urban Indian clinic. There was the previous Indian Health Board of Billings, and I'll say this just to differentiate, because sometimes we still get calls thinking they're the same thing and that we just kind of picked up where they left off.
Okay.
Totally different entities.
Yep. Almost starting from scratch.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And so like what Tally's saying, Leonard and Mary, our leadership team, they held community meetings at the library and at other locations and got feedback, got community buy-in, and then eventually were awarded the contract. Did some more community meetings to hear what people wanted and what they hoped to see. And like Tally said, that really pushed us into healthcare, which truthfully over the last, we're almost at 7 years.
Really? 2018 doesn't even seem that far.
Right?
I know, because you and I, Kayla was like, well, I think she's been, I'm like, her and I started in our new jobs around the same time.
Because I think when I met you, I was still AmeriCorps, or just finished my year of AmeriCorps. Yep. Yeah. So all that to be said, the last 7 years, NADC has had a little bit more of a focus on Billings Urban Indian Health and Wellness Center. But we do still offer our economic development and especially business development and support services. And we're kind of getting back to that as an organization, putting a little bit more energy and focus back into those as the clinic has become a little bit more established.
So can you dive into those economic development services that you guys offer? And then we want to dive into like, where's the clinic? What does it provide? All of that. But let's talk about the ED programs.
Yeah. Sure. Do you want to start?
I don't. So I strictly work in the economic development part of the organization. So we kind of think, Eagle Seeker Community Center is the health care, well-being, and then us at headquarters. I say us because I'm part of the economic development team. Down at headquarters downtown, they're really focused on the entrepreneur, the small business, and then what we can offer with technical assistance and kind of making those movements forward for economic growth, not only for Billings. I think us at the under the economic development programs, yes, Billings is a primary focus, but overall NADC is a regional organization. We service Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. And then my program kind of blew up in the last 18 months. So we are actually international, but we'll dive into that deeper when it comes to the Triia section. But we also have a native CDFI community financial development institution. We have a native Apex, so which is government procurement contracting for already established native businesses. And then what else do we have? We have Triia, which focuses on art and tourism, kind of moving in a new direction too, adding on to everything that NADC already does. In energy too, green energy.
Wow,
well, I don't want to say green, but like.
Yeah.
I know, that's where we need Lane. He's kind of our in-house expert on it.
Yeah, he does. With carbon credits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just blows my mind when I try to talk to him about it because I don't understand it, but how tribes can use their natural resources to really secure capital with their energy that they have.
Their natural resources and things that they're providing.
Yeah. So it's just like, it blows my mind because I don't really understand it. And then we dive deeper into it. I'm like, what? I didn't know.
You pick up everything. You pick up something every time he talks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did a really great job covering our economic development services and kind of tied into that, a little bit tied into the clinic, and a little bit of housing is...
That's right. I forgot the housing.
We have this new, it's kind of a satellite office, we're calling it, over at Billings First Congregational Church.
Oh, nice.
And it's called the Navigation Resource Center.
Okay.
And they have some office hours. We have different staff who rotate through there, and they're helping with a little bit of workforce development. So like they'll help with basic, I think, job applications. Daryl is doing some credit counseling.
Oh, nice.
As far as the housing, there is a lot there, and I don't have all the details. I know there might be a little bit of first-time home buyer education.
Oh, nice.
And I think it goes a little
Credit
bit deeper
repair.
than that.
Yeah.
But doing a lot of those types of services and then connecting those individuals to whatever additional resources that they might need, whether that's health, whether that's more assistance with the job applications or, deeper housing assistance than we can supply. But that's a really cool new kind of arm of our organization.
I love that. So you're talking about all these different arms, and originally you said it was kind of for the Billings area, this region, but I think NADC's reach is far and wide now. Can you talk about how far your programs go?
Yeah. Tally kind of mentioned that. So we have slightly different service areas based on which
program
we're
Totally
looking
same.
Right. Yeah. You guys definitely understand.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about NADC as a whole, we typically say our service area is Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota. Tally's program, very focused on art and tourism, is that 4-state area, but national, international. She's starting to get participation from Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're hoping
First Nations artists.
Yeah, and we're hoping, even more in kind of coming years. But like she said, we'll dig into that a little bit more. And then when we're talking about the clinic, anybody can come to the clinic. The service area there is focused on the Billings area. There's, I'm forgetting, there's this acronym, and it's for the very technical area, which is larger than Billings and kind of expands out every direction from here. But for the sake of the layman, we'll just say Billings, the greater Billings area.
Which makes sense because I come from a small town too. So Billings is like
the big city.
It's the
Big
city.
city for me.
It's the hub.
For me, it is.
It's like where everybody comes for their services because you might be able to go see your local PA or something maybe if your town's big enough to have a decent sized hospital. But it sounds like you guys are servicing not just Billings residents, but everyone coming in.
Right. So even if you're passing through, and we're not necessarily we are not in urgent care. We do not have emergency. But if you give us a call, they do have space for same day appointments and things like that. So if you were passing through or you're like, I'm going to be in Billings tomorrow, you know what? I would like to bop in for an appointment.
Yeah. Like my wellness check-in or I've got the sniffles or something like that. But if you broke your arm and the bone's sticking out, go to the emergency.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And at Billings Urban Indian Health, we also have our chemical dependency programs, suicide prevention programs, things like that.
Oh, all super important. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit, ladies, about the programs that the Billings Urban
Indian Health and Wellness Center.
Billings.
Buick for short.
Buick. Do you want to talk about Buick a little bit? That's so helpful because I'm going to screw that up.
Right?
It's a mouthful.
It's been a day.
It's a mouthful. I know we don't like short names over at NADC, and we love acronyms, right?
We love acronyms.
Yeah. Sure. So Billings Urban Indian Health and Wellness Center, we have a medical department. Actually, before I dig into the services, let me backtrack. If anybody is listening in the local Billings area, NADC purchased the old Shrine Auditorium, and that is the Eagle Seeker Community Center, which currently houses Billings Urban Indian Health and Wellness Center. So in the bones of that old building, we have upstairs, when you first walk in, you'll see the front desk where you check in. And then upstairs, we have our medical department, which, like you were saying, Kayla, is where you might go if you have the sniffles, if you need a wellness check. Very much like a clinic, right? We are not a full hospital, but you can schedule a wellness exam, a sports physical for one of your kids, things like that, your flu shot. etc. And then downstairs, we have our behavioral health department, which encompasses mental health therapists, as well as, like Tally was saying, a state certified chemical dependency center, outpatient chemical dependency center.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh, and NADC is diving into, we have the lab now
Yes.
too.
Oh gosh. Hold on one second though, before we jump into
I'm trying
that.
not to forget everything.
We also do have a program that focuses on youth, and they visit the Medicine Crow School here in town.
Nice.
They do a lot of activities with a focus on culture as prevention. They'll lead some dance classes, maybe. They'll do stick game tournaments. They've participated in a Halloween masquerade, and they'll be involved in some of those. They'll host some events themselves. They do a lot of family nights, a huge focus on family.
Yeah.
And that program, a huge part of that specific mission for our youth programming is suicide prevention. And we're trying to work around using the actual language suicide prevention, right? But that's a huge part of the work that they're doing over there.
So there's a lot going on in that building.
There's a ton going on.
But
There's
great
a ton
services.
going on everywhere, whether it's headquarters downtown or Billings. But even just some context, I had to do some research on like all who our clientele is at NADC. Let me get into my
that's
phone
a
here.
good.
I have to write it down. So we service, NADC services 20 reservations within our service area, 11, could be more urban native community areas within
Wow.
Wow.
our
That's a
service
huge
area
reach.
too. Yeah. So
And so is all of your team in Billings, or do you guys have people kind of?
For the most part, we have a few people who are in, we'll say, field offices or working remotely. We have somebody on our Apex team who is kind of Helena / Western Montana area.
because Montana isn't a small state.
No.
Right. And then we have an individual also for our Apex program in South Dakota.
Yes.
Right now, we don't have individuals in Wyoming or North Dakota. Those Apex Accelerator.
So are they the ones that? Yeah, because we have those. But are you guys the only ones doing the Native Apex services in South Dakota?
We're the
Yeah.
only ones
Wow.
doing it.
Ooh.
To my
Regionally.
knowledge.
North in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, those 4 states,
Wow.
we are the only
Native Apex. Yes.
is my understanding.
Yeah.
That's a big.
You guys are
lift.
busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think those are our only remote people. No, we do have a few other, I think her title is Director of Strategy, who is over in Western Montana, and a few other individuals kind of scattered around the state. But for the most part, the bulk of our team is here in Billings. Yeah. Or if they don't live here, they commute here.
True. We do have a few employees that commute.
Do you guys have signature events too? Right. So
Yes.
we have annual meeting, right? Like I'm assuming you guys do too, because you're an economic development and organization. But like, what are some of those like signature
Yeah.
things?
Our conference.
Right now, it's fair to say we do a ton of different events throughout the year.
The holiday of giving.
Yep. Our 2 biggest signature events, like Tally said, are going to be our conference, which was rebranded last year to Big Sky Native Econ, and then the holiday of giving.
Yep. And Triia is part of our signature would be the boots and beads.
Which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. So those are kind of our 2 big ones. And then we do something in the summer. It kind of ebbs and flows what exactly that looks like, with a little bit more of a focus on youth and families. And that's usually over at the Eagle Seeker building. But yeah, the 2 biggest ones will be Big Sky Native Econ, which is every August, and then the Holiday of Giving, which takes a lot of our energy in December, but it's a really cool, that one's just a free community meal, just bringing people together for connection and community, where our conference has more of that economic development focus.
Programming, things like that.
Yep.
I forgot I need to sign up for some duties, Maddison. On holiday giving, I haven't had
We're
time
your
to.
reminder.
I
Just
just
didn't do that when you
haven't
back,
had
back to the
time yet.
office.
Right?
You mentioned that NADC has a CDFI and then the Native Apex Center. Can you go more into the benefits of having those in-house for you guys and your minority-owned businesses?
I think for my program that I run, when I get our artists in to Triia, then when they're ready, if they want to expand their creative-based business, then I hand them off to Lane. He packages them, gets them business ready, and then ultimately through the native CDFI, they can get some startup capital or expansion. If they want to expand, then they can have some capital there too. Or if, most artists are micro entrepreneurs. So our CDFI has connections with other CDFIs that have the capital that can lend to them too. Because I think our native CDFI aren't micro lenders. They used to be. And for those listening, micro lending is anything under $50,000.
Yep.
Which
a lot of people are like, that's a lot of money, but when it comes to business, it's really not.
Right?
No.
I'm like, wow, that is a ton of money.
And
especially startup businesses, entrepreneurs, like when you're sitting down mapping out your budget, like a big bulk of it can really expand and go over that 50,000 threshold. Unless, a lot of the creative based businesses that I work with are micro entrepreneurs.
They have low startup costs, they can,
because they're mostly
profits,
just the artists themselves or, another person.
Yep. Yeah. And so one of the CDFIs that can do micro lending is here at Big Sky Finance at Big Sky Economic
I didn't know that. Okay. Another resource.
Yes. So you can tap into us.
Something else that's definitely a benefit to kind of having all of those services housed under the NADC umbrella in the same building, kind of seeing familiar faces, is that kind of building trust, because it can be scary. I mean, I have not started a business, but I can imagine how scary that is. And if you might be a business that has been struggling to get traditional financing or something, right? It's nice to be able to connect to the CDFI and also feel like you can trust them and, have that familiarity with them. I think that's one of the biggest benefits to all those services being housed kind of in that same area of our building.
Yeah. And it's just even, if I don't know something, then I can go to my coworkers and ask. Well, even just now, Mary and Leonard are really big on partnership and building collaborations with community partners too. So it's always good to share resources.
Totally.
Which brings me up to another great partnership that we have with NADC.
Yes.
And this comes from Leonard and Sue Taylor. We had the opportunity to partner with the Small Business Development Center in Rock 31 and NADC to provide a grant for minority-owned businesses that can operate in our co-working space and receive counseling with our Small Business Development Center to help their businesses grow, expand, start. We're here to help. So that is just another amazing benefit. And the great part about that is you can come in and work in the co-working space, and there's a grant that can help cover, a big chunk of your costs, like 88% of your membership costs. So that's pretty awesome.
And their offices here are really great too. I think we came when I first started, when I came on to NADC, we came over here for I can't remember.
There was an event in the zoo training room, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they took us on our tour.
Right, I know.
Maybe I should have open an office space personally over here.
Well, now there's a grant.
Right?
Yeah. And I keep meaning to ask Sue. It's just, we are so busy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you ladies know too. It's just on the grind constantly. And
if it's not on my calendar, sometimes I can't make it work.
Right?
Yeah.
So
or
true.
write it down. Otherwise, I'm going to forget.
Yep.
I
got Post-it notes everywhere.
I never
They're
thought
my
I'd be
memory.
there, but wow.
Yeah. So, but this is a nice space. I think under my program, we did a business of art workshop, and we used the conference room down here too.
Oh, yeah. The builders event space or the zoo. We've got two great places.
Yeah. So great. Yeah. And I think just good partnerships.
Here somewhere. Down that way.
Do you guys have any other upcoming events or projects? So you mentioned the holiday days of giving, but any other events or projects you're really excited coming up?
Oh, there's so much. I think a project that Tally mentioned is Indigenuity Clinical Lab LLC is a new for-profit entity under the NADC umbrella, more or less. I don't know how the actual structure works, but this is a toxicology laboratory. So it's just kind of getting its feet. Right now, the actual physical facilities in the old Ghanaians downtown, in the St. John's building there.
Oh, nice.
And we are going to be working on some business-to-business marketing, which is new for us, but really to push that laboratory to medical facilities, kind of far and wide can use that laboratory. And right now it's very specific toxicology, blood and urine testing. I have some documents with more details on that, but I don't really know too much more than that. But that's a really big, exciting project. Down the line, also kind of in the health field, health sector is we're going to be working toward opening a pharmacy.
Oh, wow.
So just constantly really big ideas. And then in January, as far as events go, Lane is the lead on this, so I don't have too many details. But we will be hosting a green energy focused summit. It's towards the end of January. I believe it's the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
22nd, 23rd, 24th. Okay.
It's that week anyway.
Yeah.
If I might be off slightly on my dates.
See if it's in my
we can look
emails.
at it on your website.
Yeah. Well, don't go to our website just yet. It's under construction and has been for a little while, but hopefully in the new year it will be live and up to date and beautiful and much easier to use. But right now our social media, our Facebook is going to be the best place. But that will be at the DoubleTree downtown.
Oh, cool.
And that's kind of the next big thing.
That's like a big, exciting thing.
It's Tribal Energy Sovereignty and Green Energy Summit, a call to action, January 22nd to the 24th.
Awesome.
And I'll be at the DoubleTree.
Thank you. Yes. Yep.
So you mentioned it a little bit, but so website's under construction, but it'll be back up soon in 2025. But where can people get connected and learn more about if they're like, oh, I could totally use this service?
I would say start with our Facebook, start with Native American Development Corporation's Facebook page. And then from there, you'll see Triia some of our programs have their own Facebooks. If you're looking for the clinic website is getting revamped. It's still live right now, but also in 2025, there will be a whole new clinic website. Their Facebook, Billings Urban Indian Health and Wellness Center, is a great place to go. Otherwise, BillingsUrbanIndianHealth.org is. I had to think about that.
.com.org. One of those
is a great place to find information for the clinic. Again, the NADC website is under construction. I would say for NADC, for now, start with Facebook or LinkedIn. Otherwise, that's kind of it at the moment.
No, that's great. Well, thanks, ladies. This has been really helpful. And I think that you guys have so many really great services. So it's if you're thinking of starting a business or you have an idea, come and talk to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Come and talk. Just give them a call, pop down. Or if you need health services, huge resource for the community.
Yeah.
And definitely if we cannot assist you, we know people who know people.
Yes, exactly.
Really push for those community resources and leveraging.
And that connection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Thanks, ladies.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, and we are excited to share with everyone your information.
Thank you so much.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye. Big thanks to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The SBDC is an incredible resource for small business owners, offering free one-on-one counseling, business plan support, market research, financial projections, and much more. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow, they're here to help your business succeed. Reach out to us at bigsky economicdevelopment.org.